Hi everyone, it's Dave here. Welcome back to the channel and for another cycling adventure. And this morning I am in the North Staffordshire town of Newcastle-under-Lyme. I'm in Lyme Valley Park at the moment, which is situated just to the south of the town centre. And my plan is to get on the bike through the town centre out into the countryside beyond, where there is an abundance of off-road and traffic-free tracks and trails to explore. Let's get on the bike, get riding, and I'll tell you more about my plan. So my rough plan for today's ride is to head through the town centre of Newcastle-under-Lyme and then pick up the Newcastle to Silverdale Greenway, which is an off-road former railway line which will take me out west towards the former mining village of Silverdale. From here I can ascend through Silverdale Country Park to High Lane, where there's a great view overlooking the town. I'll then descend through Apedale Country Park before heading past the Heritage Centre and into the village of Wood Lane, where I can pick up another former railway line which will take me in a southwesterly direction towards Halmer End and the Bateswood Nature Reserve. Once I've passed through the nature reserve, the plan is then to head through some various country lanes to get to the village of Keel, home of Keel University. I'll pass through the university grounds and descend through Keel Woods back towards Newcastle town centre and the finish. So we've headed through the town centre of Newcastle-under-Lyme, past the 18th century Guildhall, and now we're joining this cycleway which will take us all the way to the village of Silverdale. Well, I've made it to the end of the Greenway and I am now in the village of Silverdale. The Greenway, by the way, is the former track bed of the Stoke to Market Drayton Railway, which closed in 1964, and it's now been surfaced beautifully to provide a traffic-free route all the way from Newcastle town centre to Silverdale and onwards into Silverdale Country Park. That's where I'm heading now. Well, I've now made it to the entrance to Silverdale Country Park, and I'm going to head through the country park up to High Lane. Now behind me is some evidence as to how the country park came about, because this is the site of Silverdale Colliery, which closed in 1998, and over the past 25 years the landscape has been transformed into the country park we have today. Let's go and check it out. Well, it's a bit blustery here, so I hope you can hear me okay. I am now in the centre of Silverdale Country Park, and behind me is this lovely lake which you can walk and cycle around. Now, as I said previously, the country park was created from the remains of Silverdale Colliery, which was the final colliery to close on the North Staffordshire coalfield, lasting until 1998. In the past 25 years, this whole area has been regenerated into 210 acres of beautiful countryside. Now, the area behind me here is called The Void, and is a massive open space which has been created from open cast mine workings. And I need to head right up there to the very top to go over to High Lane. Now, there's two ways of doing that. There's a steep way and a less steep way. The steep way is to head around this lake and then up, basically. But I'm going to wimp out and do the second way, because adjacent to the Void is an area of former colliery spoil, which is now open grassland, and it affords a far more gentle route up to the top. So I've made it to the top of that climb, and I'm now at High Lane, overlooking Silverdale Country Park. So I've now made it to Apedale Country Park, and I'm just trying to shelter a little bit because it's really windy here. We're really high up overlooking Newcastle-under-Lyme, and behind me is the Apedale Wheel, which was erected in 2004 as a monument to commemorate all of the mine workers of North Staffordshire. Below me is Apedale Country Park, which as recently as the 1990s was open cast mine workings, and again, like Silverdale Country Park, has been regenerated into public space. I'm going to enjoy this descent now through Apedale towards the Heritage Centre at the bottom of the valley. Right, I'm going to enjoy this descent down these gravel paths and wind my way through the country park. It's like a big dipper, that bit. It's really fun. Well, it's good to be finally out of the wind so that I can talk to you without shouting. I'm now at Apedale Heritage Centre, which sits at the foot of the country park, which includes a cafe and a museum to the mining industry here in North Staffordshire. Here at Apedale, there is also the Apedale Valley Light Railway. It's a bit of a tongue twister, that. Let me try again. Here at Apedale, there is also the Apedale Valley Light Railway. Spot on. It's basically a narrow gauge railway which allows trips along the foot of Apedale Valley. Oh, lovely tarmac. So I've made it up out of Apedale Country Park and I'm now in the village of Wood Lane. The next part of the route takes me down a really steep lane called Peggy's Bank. That will then take me down into the valley you can see behind here towards Miles Green and Halmer End. Okay, that is steep. Oh God. Okay, so this next section of traffic-free route is another former railway track bed, and this was the Audley branch of the North Staffordshire Railway, which was built primarily to carry mineral traffic, particularly coal, and it closed in 1962. And it now provides a very nice and picturesque route between Bignell End through Miles Green to Halmer End. Well, I've now made it as far as the village of Halmer End, and before I head into Bateswood Nature Reserve, I thought I'd stop for a moment here in quite a poignant location. This is a memorial garden dedicated to the men and boys who lost their lives in the mini pit disaster in 1918. The mini pit here in Halmer End opened in 1881, and it had been one of the most profitable pits in the North Staffordshire coalfield because it mined 5 thick seams of really good quality coal. But despite its profitability, the mini was a dangerous pit because of fire damp. Now, fire damp is the build-up underground of flammable gases such as methane, which can be very dangerous obviously in the mining industry. And that all came to a head here in 1918 when there was a huge explosion underground which claimed the lives of 155 men and boys. Now behind me here is the actual entrance to the shaft, and it's been turned into this beautiful memorial garden. Okay, so this is Hollywood Lane, which as you can see isn't much of a lane, it's more of a track, and this will lead us towards Keel. Oh my, what a grind this is. Straight up, and it's a really uneven track, so it's difficult to get any momentum going. It's going to be a slog to the top this. Oh well, that was quite a slog on really uneven terrain, and I'm hoping for a bit of downhill now as we continue towards Keel. Whoa, I'm in a ditch here. Oh my god. Oh. What a weird place for a traffic light. I don't think there's going to be many cars coming down that trail. Back on the road now momentarily as I head towards Keel. Well, I've made it through Keel village and I'm now in the grounds of Keel University, and it really is a beautiful campus. It's very leafy and it's quite quiet because a lot of the students are still on their summer holidays. I'm here in the central square of the campus. I've picked up a drink and a chocolate bar, and I'm going to just sit and relax for a few moments because those last few climbs, particularly Hollywood Lane, it's really taken it out of my legs. So going to chill for a little bit here at Keel University before heading back towards Newcastle. A very quick detour to the ride for 1 second because I wanted to have a look at this beautiful building here. This is the 19th century Keel Hall, which was built on the site of an earlier mansion and was for many years the seat of the Sneed family, who were very influential here in North Staffordshire. Oh, another hill. Well, I must be quite high up now as I've just passed the observatory. On to Keel Science Park now, and as you can see there's a lot of land ready to be built on in the future. I'm now heading straight on into the woods, which you can see ahead, which will take us down towards Newcastle-under-Lyme. So just before I descend back into Newcastle, check out behind me the Keel Energy Park. This was built by the university and completed in 2022. There are 12,500 solar panels and 2 massive wind turbines, and together that helps to provide the campus with over 50% of its energy requirements. One final hill to completely finish me off today. This is a area called the Three Parks, which winds its way through the Westlands area of Newcastle back towards Lyme Valley. Well, I've made it back to the start here at Lyme Valley Park in Newcastle-under-Lyme, and I've completed the ride. I don't think it was even 20 miles in distance, but it was very hilly in places and some tough terrain too at times, so my legs really are feeling it a bit now. I hope you found that route as enjoyable to watch as I did to ride. Thanks again for watching all the videos. If you do like what you see, please subscribe, leave me a comment, and also like the video, and I'll be back soon for some more adventures here at Smiles Per Hour. I'm Dave, and from Newcastle-under-Lyme in Staffordshire. I'll see you soon.